Alrighty, hello everyone and welcome back. In today's video, we are going to be going over chapter 9, organizing the body of the speech. And so previously we did talk about main points when we were going over chapter 5 and we were going over chapter 10. But now we're going to focus a little bit more on how we can go about organizing our main points. Now, our main points may change the more that we conduct research on our topics for the informative and persuasive speeches. However, you may be thinking to yourself, how can I organize my main points? I'm not really feeling my main points. How should I go about organizing my ideas? And so this might help you in regards to organizing your overall speech. So the three main points, they help you organize your overall your speech and your main points, and then that in effect will help you organize your ideas and the research that you construct as well. So let's go ahead and start off with chronological. We're going to go over each one of these. So chronological order. So you can organize your informative speech using chronological order, and chronological order is a method of speech organization in which the main points follow a time pattern. That's the key word there. Chronological, think time. Chronological, think time. And so an example of this would be the legacy of Walt Disney. And so we would start off, for instance, main point 1 would be Walt Disney's childhood, and then his career, and then the end of life. You see how it has kind of like a beginning and an end, but it starts off in chronological order. All right. So second, you might want to use spatial order. Spatial order is a method of speech organization in which the main points follow a directional pattern. Now, I don't see a lot of students necessarily use this one. I maybe have seen it once or twice, but with spatial order, you would start off at one end and then work your way to another end, or start off north and end south, looking at specific locations. And I know this one kind of seems a little bit strange, but let's say, for instance, we were at RCC, or we were at Cal State San Bernardino, or we were at whatever institution we're at, and we could start off at the library, and then we can work our way to the business as administration building, and then we could work our way to the cafeteria. Okay, I know there probably wouldn't be a great historical background in regards to the cafeteria in itself, but who knows, right? And so that's where the research begins. But I don't see a lot of students really using this. But for instance, if you wanted to do a speech on planes, like this layout shows here, like figure 7 shows on, you could start off talking about the belly fairing, which is on the left-hand side of the plane, and then the flaps, which is in the middle, and then all the way moving to the right-hand side, maybe the rudder or the elevator. And see main point 1, main point 2, main point 3, and then you could talk about the construction of each of those and maybe how they play a role in the construction of an overall plane. So you're moving from one side to another side, from left to right, from north to south, to one location, essentially to another location. And again, I don't really see a lot of students using this one, but here's an example of that. If you are looking at maybe a specific location, a specific city, a specific state, a specific country, you may want to use spatial. Moving on, we have topical order. Topical order is a method of speech organization in which the main points divide the topic into logical and consistent subtopics. And so a majority of students tend to use this one here. They usually use the first one, chronological, if they're talking about maybe a specific event or a specific person, but most students will use topical order, which is looking more so at the logical and consistent subtopics. And so an example of this would be the health benefits of exercising. So that would be my topic. And so some of the benefits of exercising: 1, it could relieve stress; 2, it can protect from heart disease; and then 3, it boosts metabolism and our energy. And so you can see how each main point plays a significant role in how I conduct my research. And so for some of us, we may just start off just doing a bunch of research and like, hey, this is what I'm finding, these are the main points. So they're talking a lot about stress, they're talking about how boosts my metabolism. Let me use those as my main points because it looks like there's a lot of research already conducted on this topic in those specific subcategories. So that may be what you want to do. Another example of this could be Disneyland. So if you wanted to do a spatial order for Disneyland, you could talk about 3 different areas within Disneyland. You could look at Tomorrowland, you could look at Fantasyland, and then you could look at, what's the other land? but looking at 3 different locations. You see how we're going from one side to the other side of the park? Then with topical, or with topical order, you're more so looking at subdivisions of it. So if we're talking about Disneyland again, you can look at prices, you can look at entertainment, and then you can look at rides specifically. And will that make a 5 to 7 minute presentation? Probably not. There's probably not going to be enough information in there just talking about prices. Prices probably won't take very long to talk about. So again, you want to balance out the information, look at how much research you have, condense it if needed, and just get to the specifics of it. So that is it for this chapter. Again, we went over 3 ways that we can organize our ideas in regards to main points. One was topical order, the next was spatial order, and then the first was chronological order. If you have any questions or concerns about this chapter, please do not hesitate to reach out, and I will see you all in the next one.